It will be interesting to see or hear the reaction of West Ham fans to the message sent out by Lucas Paqueta late last night. Some will see it as a heartfelt rallying cry. Others will just bemoan the fact that it proves that the player just wants to leave. I can only tell you how I feel about it, and it will be interesting to see or hear whether you agree with me or not. And one immediate feeling is that this statement couldn't have come at a better time, especially with the club feeling so fragmented at this moment. I'm sure you've heard about Brady having met the fan board at FAB on Thursday and that they're apparently awaiting her resignation. More on that later, because this is all about Lucas Paqueta right now. Now, if you're new to this channel, or if you've watched the West Ham Voice before but yet to become a subscriber, please do subscribe. All the content is free, and if you enjoy the show, please hit the like button. So, have West Ham United just found themselves a new icon, albeit one who's been at the club for 3 years? Lucas Paqueta's heartfelt message to West Ham and its fan base is likely to have elevated him to that kind of status. In a time when we bemoan that players usually come to the English Premier League from abroad and just are mercenary and simply don't get the West Ham way, every once in a while, along comes a player who demonstrates that he does get it. We've had our fair share in the past. Paolo Di Canio, for example, for me, Angelo Ogbonna, Pablo Fornals, Thomas Soucek, Vladimir Soufal. And now, does Lucas Paqueta also enter that particular mold of player? In the statement he released, not through the usual press outlets, not through agents, not through the official club channel, but on his personal Instagram social media page, he spoke from the heart. And what he said was quite poignant. It's about choosing those who welcomed you, who never judged you, who believed in you until the very last moment, who loved you and made you feel at home. Now, that's not a transfer announcement. That, for me, is a bit of a love letter, a declaration, a reminder that football, at its core, is about connection. And Paqueta, amid speculation, amid the transfer rumours, amid the noise, has chosen us at West Ham United. Paqueta's words landed differently because they're not PR polished, they're raw. He's talking about the fans who have continued to chant and sing his name when the goals have dried up and the headlines turned sour. It's also about the club who stood by him through the spot-fixing allegations, the teammates who never doubted his flair, even when his form dipped. And when he says it's about staying loyal, not only when you've had everything, but also when there was nothing, he's speaking to every West Ham fan who's lived through relegation scraps, boardroom chaos, and false dawns. Loyalty is not looked at or tested when things are going great. It's forged during the hard times. So what does one more season mean on the pitch? Well, it means Graham Potter has access to a creative force who is going to give everything he can to make this season a successful one for club and for fans. Paqueta's ability to drift between lines, press aggressively, and link with players such as Bowen, Somerville when he's fully fit, and already Fernandes, is likely to lift the gloom from the poor season start and give us hope that things will improve to give us fans something to cheer about again. And boy, do we need a lift around the club at this moment in time. With the squad evolving, new signings, youth integration, Paqueta becomes the bridge, the heartbeat. You see, he's now one of the elder statesmen at West Ham. He's just recently turned 28, and after 2 years of looking reasonably miserable because of the spot fixing charges, that cheeky grin is back. The dancing celebrations are more vibrant, and it will be infectious around the young players who signed for the club this summer. Fernandes already looks as if he's loving playing alongside the mercurial Brazilian. Pinch yourselves when you're reminded that this is Lucas Paqueta's fourth season at West Ham. Granted, probably 2 seasons longer than we all expected, given the 2 years of spot fixing allegations levied against him. But it could have been very easy for Paqueta to walk away from West Ham as soon as those charges were dropped. There was still plenty of time in the summer transfer window for business to have been done, and Aston Villa certainly tried. But Paqueta was having none of it, despite Fabrizio Romano's interview on Wednesday or Thursday, I think, doubling down and insisting that his breaking story was right about the player wanting to leave. Romano kept on saying that if it wasn't for the leaks on social media, Paqueta would be an Aston Villa player right now. Does he not even realise the sheer irony of the comment that he made? Because it was him who leaked the transfer story on social media, was it not? Paqueta proved otherwise with his goal celebrations after scoring the penalty against Nottingham Forest, when he feigned answering a call and then throwing it away, the imaginary phone, as if to say, I don't care who's after me. I was not interested because I'm still here. Let's be honest. 2 years ago, we feared the worst, Man City links, and then the FA investigation. He was either going to leave by transfer or he was going to leave or because of the allegations that were made against him. You know, he could have ended up not playing football again. But this statement, it is a rallying cry, is it not? You know, he said, it's not time to say goodbye yet. Poignant word. Let's get together for one more season. That word yet is key. It's honest. He's not pretending that he's going to retire at West Ham United. But what he's saying is, I'm here, I'm committed, let's make it count. And for us fans, that's gold, isn't it? Because we don't demand forever. We don't demand, well, all we do is demand. We demand fight, we demand passion, and we demand respect. And we will give that back as well. And Paqueta has given us all three with this statement. So now that we've finally returned to domestic football after the international break, where Paqueta played and scored for Brazil, that was his fourth goal of the season, which included 2 in the Premier League, 1 in the Carabao Cup. When the chips are down, Paqueta chose West Ham United, not for the money. Well, money does come into it, but he could have been paid an awful lot more if he transferred elsewhere. Not for the headlines, but I'm sure there are going to be an awful lot of headlines over the coming months, but for the love and respect he has for us sticking by him. He is showing the kind of loyalty that we thought had gone, especially poignant this coming weekend when Spurs have a player in their ranks who doesn't know the meaning of the word loyalty, as he jumped ship the minute he had an opportunity to do so. I'm not deluded in thinking that Paqueta would have stayed at West Ham had the spot fixing charges not been levied against him. We all knew he would have had his dream move to Manchester City, but he didn't agitate for a move. He didn't down tools just because the move was on the horizon. And ironically, staying with West Ham for the past 2 seasons has made him realise that this is indeed a special club where loyalty and respect is still a central focus, and all West Ham fans ask for is loyalty and respect to be reciprocated. At the end of this season, Paqueta will have 1 year left on his current contract, and there is an option to extend it for a further year. I think both club and player will agree as to what's best for both parties when the season ends. There's the option to trigger the extension so that Paqueta's value can be increased in order for West Ham to sell him for a decent price next summer. Or maybe the contract will stay as it is so that his boyhood club, Flamengo, might be able to afford to buy him back. Whatever happens next summer, at least we know that his departure will be amicable. But in the meantime, I have a feeling we're going to see some Brazilian flair So let's enjoy it while it lasts. And let's not forget, Paqueta is always going to be the player whose genius pass created the goal, which won West Ham a major European trophy for the first time in over half a century. Thank you for watching and listening, and I'll see you all soon.